break?
Yeah, breaks always a lot nicer when you've got a couple of wins going into it. So that was good. It was a tough week last week. With the travel and everything. We're on the road for a week plus, and came back and had to play an afternoon game. So I think the guys deserve 2 days off as well. To get their lives back in order and get their legs back under them.
Brad talked a little bit. One reason he said there's never panic is in the locker room. Guys weren't butting heads. It was still, a positive locker room and on the practice field and all that. How important is that when a team is struggling to have guys maintain the right attitude?
Well, it's important that you continue to believe, in yourself, that you continue to believe in what the team's trying to do and where we're headed. And I think it's important as a group that you have that common sort of mindset. When you struggle at times, and and the main thing is that you don't panic, because if you panic, you start making knee-jerk reactions and everything else, and so it's like if you miss a turnoff and you go, oh, I missed that turnoff, better turn on the next street, and you panic, and all of a sudden you found you turned the wrong way on a one-way street, and then it's a bigger problem for you. So it's the same thing when things aren't going well for your team. Don't panic, just figure it out, keep working, and through work and so forth, you'll find your way there again if you have the right ingredients.
What were some of your takeaways from the reserve and U23 games?
Obviously the reserve game, for Orlando, it's a much more important game than it is for our guys. We played a lot of young kids too. We put in a lot of academy kids into the game, which is good and good experience for them. So the purpose of the game is really twofold. It's a different purpose for Orlando. They're trying to get points, and we always try and win every game we play in. But what we were trying to do is give some guys who are coming off injuries some game time, give some young guys some exposure in game time. So, from that standpoint, we accomplished that. The under-23s was just to see some of the guys who've been in our academy before, see them play, see how they're doing, and and see where that's at. That's where we looked at DeAndre last year as well when he came back and played, and obviously we're going to look at some of our academy kids that are playing there now.
How did Shalri and Zakawani and Ayani come through that game?
Well, it was good that Shalri was able to go to 90 minutes, so it was good for him fitness-wise. It's a lot better to do fitness playing in a game than it is to run on the side of the field. Ayani, I thought, did all right as well. He's still trying to get, like I said, his fitness going and needs game time as well, so that's important. And Zakawani, didn't come through it very well, so still had some pain afterwards. So we've got to deal with that and see how we progress from there.
How's Morrow's shoulder doing?
That's bothering him a little bit. That's why we held him out of contact today. We just had him do fitness and did the warm-up and so forth. He can do everything with the ball. It's just something that I don't know what it is. They have degrees of sprains or whatever. So it's a degree of that, and so it's something that if he gets hit, it's going to hurt an awful lot right now. So trying to see how much longer it takes to calm down and seeing what we can go from.
It's kind of been the key for him the last few weeks, or 3-4 games. Seems like he's been taking it up a notch.
Well, he's worked hard. He's gotten on the end of crosses. He was unlucky not to score that header. So he's gotten on the end of crosses, which is something we want from our wingers coming in on the weak side, something we talked about and worked on. And then obviously, a good service on the one ball, and the free kick was an excellent free kick. So quality of his final actions has been much better.
Oba seemed to indicate that he's pretty close to fit at this point. Would you say that's accurate?
Healthy, yeah, fit, and still needs some time, and playing and so forth, getting used to our guys and stuff, and just playing and training again on a regular basis. But I think in terms of his injury, yeah, he feels much better, and that's getting better each day. So that's a good thing.
What kind of quality do you feel like? Has he shown you in his limited time here?
He's again a player who can do wonderful things. I think the goal is a good example. Not that it was a brilliantly played in goal, but it's just his reactions and his quickness. He was so quick after the ball bounced off the defender to get on it, and then he's got the composure, just like in Colorado, then to put that ball away. So you look at that composure. That's something that he definitely adds, and he'll do some things at practice where all of a sudden he'll skate around two guys or you know, he made one move today where he beat the guy and then he shanked the shot, the right-footed shot. So once all his timing comes back and he buries that, you're going to say, wow, that was a great goal. So he has the ability to do the spectacular, but more important than anything is the ability to finish around goal, and he can be very cold-blooded when he's in those situations.
Was Yanni not able to make it out here?
He was sick. We're not sure, you know, so we wanted to keep him away from the team today.
With guys starting to get healthy, how difficult is that going to make your decisions when you're trying to figure out starting lineups?
You know, I mean, obviously there's competition then, and you know, the guys are going to compete. But you know, we've got to remember guys who've helped us through this phase, guys who are playing well right now, and it's all about putting guys on the field who are playing well. But on the same token, you don't want to punish guys because they were off the field because of injuries. You know, it's one thing to get outplayed for your position, it's another thing to be injured. And if you're injured for a short period of time, it's easier to jump back on. You're injured for a longer period of time, it's harder to jump back on. But we just got to make sure that we put the guys out there that we think are the best 11 playing at the time and the best group of 11.
How do you make those decisions then?
If I knew the magic formula, it would be easy. Then I could bottle it and I could write a book, and I'd be like Tony Robbins or one of those guys. And I make millions of dollars. But it's not like that. It's always, as the Germans say, Fingerspitzengefühl. It's a matter of deciding, you know, what looks right, what looks wrong. The moment you make a decision, something happens. So, you know, is Morrow with his shoulder, is he going to be sound enough to play? So that then affects decisions, obviously. So that changes some things. So you try and wait and see, and you see how things pan out at practice and how things pan out, you know, just from an injury standpoint, and then you make the decisions that feel right at the end of the day.
With the season being so long and U.S. Open Cup play starting up soon, how beneficial is it to have such depth to your team?
Well, it's good to have depth. You know, I mean, you always need playing time because there's always injuries. There's going to be Open Cup games. We're going to lose players to national team games that are going to come up again. You know, so there's those situations as well. You know, under 20s, Gold Cup. You know, there's all kinds of things happening. So you know, somebody might be out for a game or two, and then they got to be back in there again. So we need everybody. We need everybody playing well.
Just a quick question about Lamar. Him being a spark plug for this team, especially over the unbeaten streak here. Just what he's kind of meant to the team over these last few games.
He's done well. We've put him up front, and we wanted to see how he would react to that. He's played most of his career as a winger, but he did play up front that year for Charleston, and so we figured, okay, let's look at that, and he's responded really well. You know, the goal in Santos, I think, gave him confidence, and after that, he didn't get another goal, but he was really close. And the thing was, he was working hard. He was trying to work in combination with the other forward. His speed presented problems as well to the opponent. He can hit a ball with both feet. So he was doing well, and all what he needed was goals, and he got the goals this weekend. So, you know, he's shown himself to be an important part of our team. Is it up front all the time? Is it back to playing maybe wide a little bit? You know, but he's going to play an important role for us.
It seems like you tend to, during the streak, you tended to have one kind of wide midfielder who's getting forward more and one who's more of a two-way player. Is that design, or is that just kind of the way it works out?
No, what we've really said is, you know, what seemed to happen to us is we got caught a little bit sometimes when both our wide guys were maybe very offensive players, and we were sort of exposed a little bit defensively, and it was making it harder for us to recover the ball. So we shifted around a little bit, and we pushed Evans wide at times. So we have a midfielder who's more an up and down type of midfielder, and also making sure that we also had wide midfielders that would get into the box, you know, which was important. And so for some, they've gotten the message like Morrow has, and he's gotten in the box. And Evans is certainly a guy, when he plays wide, will try and get in the box, as will Lamar. So it really depends on who's playing in the middle of midfield, who the opponent is a little bit. Are we maybe not going to play with two more attacking wide guys? It all depends. You know, if the situation's right, we could play that way as well again.
And how big of what your success has been is getting more of a full team buy-in to the, you know, having forwards play defense and having the midfielders press up farther, and
I think
creating
it's
More everybody's concentration, has just been better. Everybody was disappointed with where we were at, and there's quality in that locker room, and I think they were all disappointed, so they concentrated a little more. They realized that if they weren't going to do that, chances are their playing time might be curtailed or limited, and like I said, we needed to find our grit and our determination, and that was the first thing that we found, and now we got to continue to work on our soccer, the goals were pretty good. There was some decent quality in them, and we got to make sure we continue to do that.
Can you tell us about Josh Ford's surgery, and is it related to the knee issues he's kind of had in the past?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit related, but not entirely. So, he had some pain in that area. Was that because there was a slight fracture there or something? Nobody knows 100% for sure. But obviously, he needed to, I guess, repair the patella. And so, now he's got to go through the rehabilitation with it. But, he's a pretty tough character. And I know if somebody rehabilitates faster than possible, it'll be him. But he's in that phase right now where it's a lot of inactivity, and I think they put some wire in and a screw in to hold things in place. But he should be able to make a full recovery.
Sending Will Bates out on loan for a weekend, I mean, maybe instead of
just to get him a game. Whenever we can, we're going to try and send guys out to get a game here and there. If we don't feel they're going to get a game with us, we had a lot of forwards, and so it was a good opportunity for him to get a game.
anything else?
Thanks, guys. Watch out for those balls, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, coach. A second. I know. It's all right. One day I'm going to catch.
I'm Kyle Beckerman.
I'm Landon Donovan.
I'm Dwayne DiRosario.
We love soccer. We train hard, we play hard, and we support with passion.
When it comes to discrimination, we don't cross the line.
No bullying, no racism, no sexism, no homophobia. No excuses, no exceptions.
Don't cross the line. If you're playing, training, supporting, or coaching, don't cross the line.